Now, forget ordering takeaway meals or schlepping around the supermarket. Why bother with that? Well, the hottest home dining trend is meal kits delivered to your home. So if you fancy fresh ingredients delivered to your doorstep to make a Singapore chicken lasket, do it all the time. Or something less exotic, maybe, I do that probably all the time, then you're already part of this revolution. Companies like Blue Apron in the US, Gusto in the UK, the food delivery market is finding new customers. But is the market now becoming too overcrowded, or is it simply the future? HelloFresh was one of the first to launch back in 2012. Its head chef and co-founder Patrick Drake joins me now in the studio. Welcome to you. So what was the concept when you set up?
So the idea is that people order our recipe boxes online, and then we send them recipes, and we send them a chilled box of the exact fresh ingredients they need to cook the meals at home in around half an hour.
And why?
Convenience, variety, for as many reasons as there are to love food, there are reasons to love a service like that, because it gives you, basically takes out all of the hassle of cooking and leaves you with the fun bit, just the cooking and the eating, rather than the shopping, the planning, and all of the complicated things that actually put people off.
And they choose their recipes online?
Yeah, so you just go online and you can choose from a selection, or if you don't want to choose a selection, then we'll choose what we think you'll like based on our research into what our customers want.
And so is there intellectual property associated with that?
Well, you could say so. We've got thousands of recipes that we've literally curated and created in our development kitchen based on the exact knowledge of what our customers want. So each week we actually send them a questionnaire. We get about 80,000 replies a month, telling us what they like, what they dislike, and they are very, very honest and unfiltered in what they say, which can be tough on a chef, but you get used to it.
What's the worst thing you've heard?
One of them was, I couldn't feed that mashed potato to my dog, and
they must have mashed it, surely.
So my
or did you send them mashed potato?
No, we didn't. They had to make it, and I thought, well, that was mashed potato. I mean, you know, so but a lot of the feedback is very interesting. It's very valid, and what we do is we then use that feedback, and we actually, because there's so much of it now, we have to machine read it.
You need a robot, that's what you need.
Yeah, we have computers that actually work out what the trends are.
Okay, so why is it that our lives have changed in this way, such that this is what we respond to, this is what we need?
I think it's because people do want to cook, they want that creativity, they want that variety, they want nutritious food, they want different flavours and kind of go on that kind of culinary journey, so to speak, but they just haven't been able to because of the complication before and the intimidation of going to a supermarket where you're frankly faced with the tyranny of choice and end up eating the same thing you eat week in, week out.
So I've mentioned some other names who are in the market. Is the market becoming more crowded? Is our customers sticking with it? Or are you able to differentiate yourself?
So the market is definitely becoming more crowded, but I see that as a really positive thing, because when we started this, the category didn't exist, but HelloFresh kind of created this category, particularly in the UK, and we had to educate people about what we do and why they would want to use us instead of the usual routes to getting their groceries. So the more people who are doing it, the more it educates the market, and ultimately the consumer is going to choose the person, the company, from which they get their favourite recipes.
Right, and what you do is you add a little story to it as well, so you like to talk about the people who supply you, and that's really important these days, isn't it, to have that backstory?
I think that people want to have a sense of context. They want to know where the food comes from. We always hear about provenance being incredibly important, but more than that, it's just a sense of knowing that your food came from an expert, somebody who's put their passion and their life into making those ingredients happen, so that when they're eating it, they're eating with a sense of context and not just mindlessly chewing on a piece of chicken or a vegetable, but they know that there's a story behind it. I mean, they're one of our suppliers is a garlic supplier. His name's Colin, and that doesn't necessarily make you think of a global adventurer, but he literally he went to Kazakhstan to find what he calls the original garlic on a mountainside. He got shot at by bandits trying to find some garlic so that he could send it to our customers.
I think that, well, at least I suppose that gave you a story. To the lousy potato masher, get some help. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.